Alright, so it's the 13th of June, 2015, and I'm just going to show you my ride home from work. So it's a beautiful May afternoon. It's only about 13 Celsius outside, but it's comfortable riding weather to be wearing a t-shirt and shorts. There's not too much wind either, so it should be a pretty pleasant ride home. This morning was actually really gray and dull, but most of those clouds have cleared now and it's nice and sunny. So I make one of these videos about once a month, and I show my route between home and work. And today I'm going to show you the way home from work. My ride takes me from the Yonge and Sheppard area of North York, a borough of Toronto, to where I live, which is in, I guess, Midtown Toronto, the Yonge and Eglinton neighborhood. And my ride is usually between 6 and 8 kilometers, depending on which variation I take of the different streets. Right now, the route that my standard route, or the route that was my standard for the last few years, there's a few sections of it that there's construction going on, and it's still technically open for biking on. They leave a little gap for you to get through, but I do sometimes avoid those routes because they can be a bit slower and more dangerous. Just, you know, riding through a construction site's never the safest thing. Not that there's any, you know, direct risks. I'm riding my my green machine bike as opposed to my rally hybrid bike. Been riding this bike a lot more often the last few weeks. I think the other one's a little bit faster, but one of the main reasons I've been riding this bike is because 1 month today, on the 13th of June, I will be going on my vacation for the summer, or one of my vacations at least. The only vacation that I have planned at this moment, which is a trip to New York City, and I'll be there for about a week. And I'll be bringing the bike that I'm riding right now with me to New York City and riding all over the place and exploring. So in preparation for that trip, I wanted to make sure I was comfortable riding this bike again and making sure that, you know, everything on it's in tip-top shape. Because this, most of the time, it's my secondary bike, so it doesn't get ridden that often. It gets ridden mostly actually during the winter because I put my studded snow winter tires on this bike. So we're just riding along. Right now we're going in the west direction, on a street called Harrison Garden. Lots of big condos on it. And the time right now is around 5:30. And as we're riding, now that it's May, notice all of the nice flowering trees like the one we're just going under right now. can smell the perfumes from the flowers on the trees. Flowering trees only last for a week or so typically. I remember last year when I made my May video, I did a ride to work video and I got lost along the way. Thank you. And I got lost along the way. And the detour that I ended up taking, I remember it ended up going past a lot of extra flowering trees that we wouldn't have otherwise seen. So we just went under the 401 back there, which is our big major highway. And this is to cross this on-ramp for the 401. And now I'm going to get onto this road here, which is called Lord Seton Drive. There's really no safe bike route to get across legally. But when there's a lineup of traffic like that, the people are usually wave me across and allow me to go through. Alright, so now we're turning on to Upper Canada Drive. So far this is my typical route. I'm actually going to take a turn different here so we can see a little bit different geography than usual. And it also will avoid some of the construction that's going on. But as I said, I think it's always nice to change up the videos a little bit when I have so many different route options. So this road now has changed names. It's now called Old Yonge Street. And there's a nice flowering tree there on the left. And then we're going to go past the cemetery here. I've never ridden in this cemetery. Alright, so here's where I'm going to turn. And this road was actually just recently repaved. And before it was repaved, it was definitely a pretty bumpy ride down the hill. But now that it's repaved, all the more reason to take this detour. So it's just an extension of the same kind of properties and houses that we were just going past. Lots of, enormous fancy houses. And of course now we're descending into the Hogs Hollow Valley. So we're going down a hill. This one's more gradual. I'd be interested to ride this one in the up direction. I never have, but being that it's so gradual, it may be nicer than the way that I normally take. I'm not going too fast down this hill because I don't know it that well and I don't know what to expect. But here we are at York Mills Road. So normally when I cross this road, I cross it up the hill from here. I'll just do a little swoop to the right, up that hill up there. That's where I normally cross. That's where Old Yonge Street continues. But now that I'm at the bottom of the hill, I'm gonna go over here to the left lane because I'm going to make a left turn to get off of York Mills as soon as there's a through street, which is right up here. And this is actually a pretty safe crossing. It's got a nice left turn lane and there's a traffic light up there. So you just wait for that traffic light to turn red and then there'll be a nice gap that you can turn. and it's already turned green, so I'll wait for an opening, and here's one right here. Actually, I didn't have to wait for the light. Now on the left up here, there's a park with a pathway, and that pathway connects up back over with the route that I normally take, but the pathway is actually under construction as well. Actually, the whole park is. There's a whole big section there you can't get through, and it's all connected up with the same construction that's going on the road. So fortunately, I can't take that route there right now. So I'm going to ride up Yonge Street instead. So make a left turn on the sidewalk here. Thank you. They're still working on construction on Yonge Street as well. For a long time they had the southbound lane coming up the hill. One of the two lanes was blocked off. Now they've opened most of it up again. So here's what I take from here. There's a nice little paved pathway through this park. And what separates this park from the one that I said was blocked off is there's a river in between here and there. And if you look over through the trees over there, you can see some orange fencing and stuff. And that's the part that's blocked off that you can't get through. So I'll do this instead. Fortunately, no curb cut out here. I gotta go down the big bump. And the pathway continues. Through the playground. And we're back at Danino, which is my regular route. I'm pretty sure what I just did there was a longer detour than what I normally would do if I just went straight across Old Yonge. But you never know, you could end up with a day where there's no breaks in the traffic to get across there, because it is an unsigned crossing. No traffic light. Oh, hope I can get up here. Looks like Dawnwoods Road is closed right now. I bet if I tried, they'd probably let me go by, but I'll take this one over here instead, because they're pretty much the same. I forget the name of this road, and I didn't see the sign when we went past it. But it's the road that's a little bit north of Dawnwoods Road, which connects Danino to Yonge Street, the north end, or south end. So now we gotta climb back up that hill that we easily coasted down a few minutes ago. This hill there isn't as much of a climb on this road as there is on Donwoods, but that's because after you get back on Yonge, there's still more hill to climb. Alrighty. It's called Ivor Road. So I'm hoping to make lots of videos in this style when I go to New York City. Last summer I had the privilege of going to Amsterdam, and I brought all my camera equipment with me for that. And I did a ride through the downtown of Amsterdam and filmed it. And a lot of people have been enjoying that video. So I'm hoping that you'll enjoy the ones that I do in New York as well. I did a similar trip to New York back in the summer of 2011, long before I had a camera that went on the front of a bike for making this kind of video. But I did film many other videos with a handheld camera, which I posted. There's many hours of them on YouTube already. I'll link the playlist for those below. And we're just walking across Yonge Street. And you know what? Since we're doing things a little different today, I'm going to ride along this street here. Normally I just walk along the sidewalk another block and get onto a road called Deloraine, but we'll change things up a bit and ride a little bit on Yonge Boulevard. Make a left here on Old Orchard Grove. So now that summer is here, I urge everyone to try riding their bikes to work if they've never done it before, or if you have before. I urge you to get your bike out and get back into it. Oh, you're first. If you live in Toronto, I strongly encourage you to ride your bike on the 25th of May, Monday the 25th of May, which is our official Bike to Work Day. I believe it's the 26th annual Bike to Work Day. I've been doing it for a long time. And if you work in the downtown core, or if you're available in the morning, there's a big group ride, or many group rides, which start from various points around the city, and they head downtown to Nathan Phillips Square, in front of City Hall. And once you get to City Hall, there's a pancake breakfast provided by the city, and all kinds of other festivities down there as well. If you want more information about that ride or on Bike to Work Day itself, visit the website bikemonth.ca, and from there you click on the bike to work day. I'll put a link in the description to that as well. And if you live somewhere in the Greater Toronto area and you're planning on biking to work on that day, even if it's not part of that scheduled ride that I was describing, you can sign up on the website as a participant, and there's a counter and it keeps track of how many people have committed to ride. And when you sign up, your name gets entered into a draw, and the winner of that draw will win a new bike. I forget what the model of the bike is, but it's made by Norco, and it's kind of a hybrid kind of a bike, I believe. Of course, all those details are there on the website. And in addition to that, if I haven't already plugged too many things, Bike to Work Day is the launch, or it's the starting point of Bike Month, which is a whole huge list of events that are happening all over the Greater Toronto area. Almost every day of Bike Month there's something going on related to biking. You know, some of them are group rides, some of them are mechanic stations where you can go and, you know, get small tune-ups done on your bike for free. Many of the group rides are themed. For example, there's some where they want everyone to dress up a certain way, or they'll all visit a list of locations which all, you know, tie together with one common theme. Lots of different options for lots of different people. So the street that we're on is called Duplex here, and the one before it, before we crossed the traffic light, the same road, but it was called Jedburgh back there. Again, lots of flowering trees around here to enjoy for this 1 week of the year, 1 or 2 weeks. Some of them bloom at different times. We got a green light. Some of these intersections have four-way stops. When you get to one that doesn't, you sometimes forget that it's not a four-way stop, even if there's a big green light shining in your face. Of course, I'm sure this video compared to the last video, you probably notice a lot more bikes on the road. Duplex and Jedburgh in particular are very popular cycling routes for a lot of people. Last summer, I think there were some days when I saw, you know, upwards of 30 riders that I passed along my way, you know, during the 10 minutes or so that I was on this road on a given day. So even though, you know, this part of the city isn't that well known for being popular for bikes, if you know where to look for them, you'll see a whole lot. Lots of things have been going on around in my neighborhood with respect to construction. They're building a big condo across the street from me. Although they're really just getting started now, really just cleaning up the concrete and stuff that was there from the parking garage that used to be on the site. But it's like literally like right across the street from me, and I look out my window and look down, and that's what I see. And since I thought it'd be fun to track the progress of that construction and make a time lapse of it, I set up a camera outside my window, which saves a picture every half hour. But I've also set it up to upload that image and refresh the upload every 5 seconds on my website, so you can, while the day is happening on a weekday, you can watch the construction vehicles move around and do their thing. I do have another camera that I've had set up that way for over a year now, but it's looking more at the skyline, and that building's not particularly in it. But they're both on the same part of my website. It's a page which I call Toronto View. My website is the same as my YouTube username, cjhoyle. cjhoyle.com is my website. And you go there and just click on the Toronto View button, and you're brought there right to those camera images. And if you couldn't follow that, I'll put the link in the description anyways. So we're just waiting to get across Yonge Street, and then I'll pretty much be home after that. It's been a good ride though. Beautiful weather, I'd say pretty much perfect cycling weather when the sun's out and there's a little bit of a breeze, and it's around this temperature. It's pretty nice. If it's warmer than this, it's still nice, but you get, you know, more sweaty and hot. Alrighty, heading across. I'm gonna make a right turn here. The other construction that's going on is this other building, which is on this street here, Keewatin. It's going to be only an 8-story tower, I believe. But they're certainly moving quickly on that. You can see I showed the big crane was just put in when I made my last video. But they're still working away here it's on the right, behind the construction fencing. Got some of the foundation walls in now. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed joining me on my bike ride home from work. As I said, it's a great time of the year to get into for the first time bike commuting. It's a great way to start and end the day. Please leave a comment and let me know what you thought of this video, and thanks for watching.